Welcome to Take Me to the Cloud, a place for business professionals to hear insights and best practices from industry experts that combine cloud systems, operations, supply chain, and finance.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me on another episode of Take Me to the Cloud. I'm your host, Melissa Holton, and I'm really excited about our topic today. We are talking with NLX, a company that's redefining how people interact with brands using automated conversational AI. Joining me for this conversation is Charlie Kalari, Director of Customer Solutions. Hi, Charlie. How are you today?
Hey, Melissa. How are you? Nice to see you.
You too. Thanks for talking with us today. Do you want to tell our listeners a little bit about NLX and some of the issues you all are trying to solve?
Sure. So NLX it's a platform where you can easily design, build, train, and test conversational experiences in voice, chat, and multimodal. And we're really helping customers solve major contact center operational issues, things like long wait times or customer frustration or a bad experience. So we do this through our automated platform.
Okay. And so people can add this to their website, they can add it to an app, any kind of way that they choose to communicate with their customers, right?
Sure, it's in any channel and basically any language that they want to communicate with their customers. So it could be implemented on your website or integrated within your website. It could be integrated within your mobile app, let's say. But even more importantly, it can be integrated through voice, so through the IVR or any kind of telephony that you might have.
And is that the Voice Compass technology, one of your products?
Yes, that's exactly right. One of our products is Voice Compass, and that is a multimodal type of an experience, right? It's where you can have a customer call into the contact center, and throughout that experience, we have a guided journey assistant that steps the user and customer right through the successful completion of that interaction or inquiry.
And I saw on your website that, and you just mentioned it, but you have over 65 languages in your technology. So that really opens you guys up to a more global audience and not just English, but it's very conversational, right?
Yes, that's exactly correct. In fact, we have a very large energy drink company that we've deployed our virtual assistant in over 90 countries and 65 languages. So it's a very large global and worldwide deployment.
Wow. And so with the chat feature, are companies able to reduce their labor force, or do they still need that human interaction on the other end of the phone call or the chat?
Yeah, so with our conversational platform, we're able to handle, and think about this, we just came back from, and got through a large pandemic, right? So there were major staffing shortages. Agents did not want to go into the call center, so there was massive reductions in staff. But also, too, you had long handle times, a lot of customer, frustration and poor experiences. And so what we're able to do is automate some of those so that you don't have to worry about having, large call center staff with a lot of agents. So we helped that problem of, staffing shortages.
Yeah, I can imagine industries, especially in the travel industry, like airlines, they have a high volume of customers, and if there's bad weather or something, that I imagine like their phone centers just light up. So that would be really helpful to be able to navigate some of the basic issues before they actually get to that customer service representative.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. And in fact, we're heavy into the travel and hospitality and airlines industry. And one of the large airlines that we're working with today, we're able to automate a good portion of their inbound customer inquiries for, say, manage your flight or cancel your flight, or even get specialty care like a wheelchair down at a gateway for a customer. So typically we see automation rates of 30 to 40% with our platform, but with our multimodal experience, Voice Compass, we're seeing upwards of 70 to 80% automation rates, which it's a huge cost savings for call centers and Fortune 200 type companies.
Wow. And I imagine that would also, with numbers like that, I imagine that would also help with customer service ratings. If customers are feeling like their problems are being solved, and not having to escalate or maybe, get that frustration that their problem is not being solved.
Yeah. So yeah, that's another great point, Melissa. So Just the experience overall is greatly improved using our conversational AI platform. Think about this. You want to check on an order, let's say, or you want to check on something or you're frustrated with, say, a product, you need help setting it up, and it's 10 o'clock at night on a Sunday, right? Most call centers aren't open or available. And so now you have a virtual assistant who's been trained to handle that customer inquiry or question and get it resolved. So it greatly improves the overall experience for customers and users.
Mhm. Yeah, I can imagine. And I can imagine, for the generation that is growing up that doesn't actually want to talk to somebody on the phone, and being able to text or, send a message on the computer is, another great solution for that generation.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. For that generation, they want to just use their mobile phone, get everything resolved in an instant, right? But there are certain things that um, happen with complex issues that occur maybe in healthcare, financial services, or something where you really want to escalate and talk to a live person. Our platform, if we can't understand an intent or what the user is looking for, we can easily get it to a person to handle that problem or question. So that's part of the platform where you can easily escalate to a live agent.
Yeah, I mean that's so great. So one of the things that we do at Witham is we help customers implement ERP systems. And what would that look like for a customer that wanted to integrate this system within their ERP? What is the implementation timeline? What would you say is the interest and the availability of being able to implement?
Yeah, sure. So think about this. Providing good and personalized and customized experiences requires getting to that customer information or that customer data, right? And so the platform is very easily integratable to any back-end systems of record. Things like, NetSuite or Salesforce or any CRM that you might have. You do not need a team of programmers. You don't need a team of developers or analysts to actually do these integrations. We do them as part of our platform for free, right? So we've got existing connectors or connections with an experience with say NetSuite for a lot of our clients. So that allows us to get to that back end, those data elements like your name, your account number, things about past orders, things like that will greatly improve and personalize the experience for anybody that's calling or talking to our virtual assistants.
Right. So it's saying, we see you ordered this yesterday. Is this what you're asking about today? Yeah, you're right. Those personal touches really help to make sure that the customer knows that one, you value them, but two, that you know who they are.
Yeah, it's similar to, like, let's use an example like in the airline industry, right? You're calling in to maybe change your flight or cancel it or upgrade it, and as soon as you call in, the virtual assistant in a great persona type voice will say, Melissa, hey, are you calling about your upcoming flight to Chicago? Think about that. That's great. It saves time. Yes, I'm calling about my flight to Chicago. I'd like to upgrade my seat, right? So, and you can get all that done without the human being or live agent handling it for you.
Yeah, that's great. I often feel like if you're calling somebody and you give them all your information, and then they have to pass you on to somebody else, and you have to give all your information again, but having that readily available would make it so much more easy and seamless.
Yeah, and a much better and personalized experience as well.
Yeah, I agree. So what do you see is the future for chatbots? Like, where do we go from here? How does it grow, or how does it continue to grow?
Yeah, I think it grows and continues to grow with, providing greater capabilities and features within the platform to make these personalized experience even better and greatly improved. And so these are some of the things that, as part of our overall offering, we've been able to differentiate ourselves in the market. Like, for example, our pay-as-you-go usage-based pricing. That's a huge differentiator in the market. I come from two competing conversational AI companies where they typically charge large license fees up front just to turn the key and get to use the product, right? Then you have all this professional services work to set it up and configure it. And then you have integration work, right? And that costs a lot of money. So all in, you could be, to set up one small chatbot, you could be into the hundreds of thousands of dollars just to get one use case implemented. Where as at NLX, it's pay-as-you-go pricing. It's 20 cents per conversation, very easy to do, no contract required. and no charge, no large, no professional services or integration fees. So that's really where the market is going in the future, and that's how we're really differentiating ourselves in the market.
Wow, that's great. And you guys have done an implementation with one of our clients that we actually just went to Sweet World with, Moncherie Bridals.
Yes.
You want to tell us a little bit about what their implementation was like and how they have benefited from the NLX platform?
Sure. They came to us about 7 months or so ago, and they were just coming out. Think about the bridal and wedding industry, right? They just came out of a huge pandemic. All weddings were canceled. It was just a really difficult time for people. And people were calling in about ordering dresses and for special events and weddings and things like that. And they had a very short staffed on the call center, so they couldn't even get orders in. And people were 2 hours wait time on the phone, no access through a chatbot on their website, so you couldn't even get to once the weddings were scheduled, you couldn't even get to the product. So we helped them with major challenges for long wait times in the call center, customer frustration. And so we implemented several use cases for them over the last several months where you can call in and get your account balance. You can get the status of your order. You can even check inventory stock levels to see, hey, do I have this dress in this color, in this size, right? So and that's all integrated with their back-end NetSuite ERP system, right? The huge benefits are that customers are now much happier. They can call in and get status 24/7. The other big thing is their call center was just a 9 to 5, right, Monday to Friday. Now it's 24/7. You can get status of your order and things like that. So it definitely improved on the customer experience. It's saved them a lot of money, because think about this: 20 cents to handle an order status call versus, say, a live agent. The cost for a live agent to handle that's around $12 to $15, right? So there's huge cost savings, better experience, and it's just better all the way around.
And like you said, and now the customer is also able to get that personalization of which order they had or what their name is, and just being able to get that data from NetSuite is so helpful. And I know some of the challenges they also had were, supply chain and just where is my dress, being able to help the customer. And especially, that's such stressful time. Like everybody wants to know, like if they're going to make it for their event. So being able to communicate to their customers definitely is a huge help.
Yes, big time help. And yeah, so now and so we're not just in the the bridal and wedding industry. It's unique to companies all around the globe, right? You don't have to be a Fortune 200 company to implement with NLX. You could be a small business, you could be a mid-market type company in any industry, right? We're really industry agnostic if you think about it. It doesn't really matter about just because I'm in, we help Moncherie Bridal out in the wedding industry. We could help any customers with in the banking industry, or in e-commerce or retail or telcos, or anything.
Anybody that has customer service.
Anybody who's got a customer service. Yeah, that's exactly right.
And there's no coding involved, right? You don't need a programmer on your team. It's all very easy to use, right?
That is correct. It's a no-code platform where a business user can actually go in. They can design a conversation. They can build it themselves, drag and drop. Just moving and configuring in our studio builder, and you basically can train it and then deploy it. And so you can actually create a virtual assistant or chatbot in a few hours. It doesn't take a long time. So
that also cuts down on an implementation time too, right? You don't have to have a huge project.
Yeah, it's not a huge project. It's very easy to do. Like I said before, it's easy to integrate to any backend systems of record, and it's easy to change and modify on your own. You don't have to go to your IT staff or your IT department and say, I'd like to make this change in the telephony system, or I'd like to make this change in how the experience is for the customer. You can just do it yourself on the fly, redeploy it, and it's back into production.
That's great. And is there any sort of dashboard or database for the customer or not the customer, but your end client, that they can see what the response rates are, or where there might be issues, or maybe they need to readjust some of the wording or the phrasing that the bot is using?
Yeah, so we've got a full-on analytics and reporting dashboard that are built right into analytics, but are built directly into the conversational flow to make any type of real-time decision that you need, right? So the KPIs out of the box, you can look at top intents, you can look at the integrations, you can look at the drop-off the drop-off rate. You can see escalations, what call or chat escalated to a live agent. And then the big thing, you can see success rates. You can see when the conversation started and when it was successfully completed, and that helps with automation rates, right? So there's a whole slew of KPIs that you can do. You can do it by date, by bot, by language, and you can export any of this data to any type of BI tool or reporting tool that you have.
That's wonderful.
So it's pretty powerful.
It is. Was there anything else you wanted to touch on today?
Yeah, no, I just that if anybody has any of these typical contact center problems or things that they're experiencing now and they want to try to improve on their customer satisfaction rates, the customer experience, would love to sit down and chat with them to see how we can help resolve those problems and help them supply better service to their valued customers.
Okay, and if they are interested in learning more about NLX, they can visit you on your website at nlx.ai.
That is correct.
Okay, well, awesome, Charlie. Thank you so much for chatting with me today.
I appreciate it, Melissa. Thank you.
You've been listening to Take Me to the Cloud. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe to be alerted of new episodes. For more information, visit withum.com.